Springfield Prodigy, which I have here, is a double stack 1911 chambered in 9mm, which comes optics ready. This is my 5,000 round review of the Springfield Prodigy, which to me has become my ultimate handgun. About 10 years ago, I began my quest for the ultimate personal protection handgun with a Springfield Armory XDM, and it served me well. But I noticed there were still some shooters who loved the 1911 pistol, which to me seems strange because I thought this pistol was old and obsolete. After all, it's a 100-year-old design that's big, heavy, expensive, has limited magazine capacity, manual safeties, and doesn't .45 caliber have excessive recoil? But eventually I decided to try one, a full-size steel frame .45 caliber 1911. Specifically, I got a Springfield Armory Range Officer. To my surprise, it was very easy to shoot with mild recoil and excellent accuracy. Later, I got a Springfield Ronin, which is chambered in 9mm, which slightly increases magazine capacity and softens the recoil. Then I heard about a new development in the field of, or the world of 1911s, a double stack 1911 with a magazine holding 17 rounds of 9mm. In addition, they can be easily fitted with a red dot sight. To me, this sounded like the ultimate handgun. It combines the shootability of a 1911 with the higher capacity of a modern polymer gun. In early 2023, about a year ago, I began comparing and considering getting one of these double stack 1911s, and I compared two pistols. The three options I was considering between two pistols are shown here. First, I was thinking about the Staccato P with the veteran's discount. It was priced at $2,299. The other option was a Springfield Prodigy, also with a veteran's discount, but quite a bit cheaper, nearly $1,000 less expensive. My third option was to consider getting a Prodigy, but putting about $500 of custom upgrades into it, which came to $1,716. In the summer of 2023, about a year ago, I bought the Prodigy intending to evaluate it for 1,000 rounds first to identify any needed upgrades. Prodigy 5-inch is a beautiful gun, and its quality, smoothness, and trigger were all that I expected of a high-end Springfield 1911. I was particularly interested in reliability. That is, could the stock 1911 go at least 1,000 rounds with zero malfunctions? So how did it do? During those first 1,000 rounds, I had 8 failures to extract or eject and 2 failures to feed. I also had 3 minor annoyances. You could feel and hear the disconnector catching slightly on the slide. 2, the optics mounting plate started to come loose after about 500 rounds. And 3, the recessed slide release lever was harder to reach than on a standard 1911. Now, most of these problems could have easily been fixed by asking our gunsmith to tune the extractor and polish the fire control interfaces, but I wanted to turn my Prodigy into the ultimate handgun and is willing to pay for the necessary gunsmith work. Now, the Prodigy, as well as most production guns, have their internal components, steel components made of MIM steel, that is metal injection molded steel, which is a slightly less expensive production process. So I decided to swap out in my upgrade many of the fire control parts for higher quality machine tool steel parts. This lists the fire control parts I had replaced with their prices and manufacturers. In addition, I made these 2 personal preference upgrades. I took the components to my local Tulsa gunsmith and he custom fitted them. The total cost of the job was $282 for parts, $175 for labor, for a total of $457 for the upgrade. The total cost of the Prodigy plus upgrade came to $1,716, which was almost $600 less than the cost I would have paid for the Staccato P. Was it worth it? For me, yes. Double-stack 1911s are expensive pistols, but among them, the Prodigy is what I would consider in the mid-price range, but it's still high quality. What I needed was a pistol that satisfied several critical criteria. First of all, it had to be one that allowed me to shoot my best. So for me, that has to be some sort of a full-size 1911. Next, I liked the 17-round capacity standard magazine. Third, I wanted it to be optics ready. And then Finally, the most important criteria for me, for my purposes and the way I use my gun, is it has to be absolutely reliable. And so for that reason, I was willing to pay the additional $500 for the custom upgrade to improve reliability. An off-the-shelf Prodigy with a red dot sight is extremely easy to shoot accurately, but my upgrade further enhances smoothness of its action, its shootability, and accuracy. But how about reliability? That was my chief concern. I'm now 5,800 rounds since the upgrade, and I have not had a single failure to feed, failure to cycle or fire, or failure to eject. As I approach 6,000 rounds, I'm finding it's essentially performing flawlessly. One minor issue did come up post-upgrade, but I don't consider it a malfunction of the pistol itself, and that is that 2 of my 5 magazines developed a failure to slide lock on empty after some time. And I traced that back to weak magazine springs, but I had those springs replaced. It's very simple to do, and now those magazines are operating flawlessly, and all my other magazines have been working flawlessly from the beginning. Which handgun is best for you depends on your purposes, your budget, and your preferences. As for me, I've already discussed my criteria for what I was looking for, with an emphasis on reliability. And of all the guns I've used over the past 20 years, the Prodigy is definitely the best, which is more reliable and is easier to shoot accurately for me than any other handgun. And so that's why I consider the Prodigy my ultimate handgun.